So in order to make the Bardo of this life a meaningful what we got to do. Here first Guru Rinpoche said, walk with your Bardo of dream. Make this Bardo of dream a virtuous ones. And not only virtuous ones, in fact, use this dream Bardo practice time. For seasoned practitioners, there is no different waking state and dream state. All become the time for practicing, time for awakening, time for benefiting beings. So imagine such time, day and night, as we say, 24 hours. This is a real 24 hours. And then, now, Bardo of dream is well taken care of. And then now, in the waking state, this teaching of Bardo, of meditation, or samadhi. Again, even though samadhi, Bardo of meditation, happens within the Bardo of dreams. Here, putting it in a separate category for the waking state. The more advanced practitioners you become, the more Bardo of meditation or samadhi is expanded. And then, for a seasoned practitioner, the great masters, Bardo of this life and Bardo of meditation actually no separate. Okay, now let us talk about Bardo of meditations. Bardo of meditations is categorized because this is different than ordinary waking state. So, Bardo meditations, the period where meditation happens. And beyond this, in fact, all our practice, not only silent meditation or silent practice, all devotional practices are all within the Bardo meditations, because this is not the ordinary waking state. This is in Bardo meditations. Okay. Now let us turn the page to It says, now when the Bardo of Samadhi is dawning upon me, I will abandon all forms of distraction and delusions. Bardo of meditation happens when one abandons the distractions and delusions. Distraction, the ordinary way of life, or samsaric way of life, is mind turned out and lost in our own projections. That is, what we see, our mind seems to chase after that. What we hear, our mind seems to be chasing after what we hear. What we taste, what we feel. And then thinking about past, anticipating the future, being lost in the present. In the present, mind is so active. Buddhist masters give the example, monkey-like mind. If you observe monkey closely, you will know how restless the monkey is. So our mind, distracted to the external phenomena, distracted, being lost in our inner thoughts. So meditation here, part of meditation here means instead of being lost at all time, rather turn our mind inward and observe. This is very, very important, meditation. Generally, as a human beings, what we have is this body and this mind. Our body needs to be taken care of at all times. Taking shower, to clothing, to nourishment, beautifying. So much is needed for our body. As well as our practitioners on a spiritual path, then we pay equal or even more attention to our mind. As body needs such service, yes, our mind, let us pay attention to our minds. So in day-to-day lives, as much as we pay attention to this body, as well pay attention to this mind. It's very important, by the way. Calming this mind. Just sit and observe our breath. Observe our tactile sensations, which brings minds home. And then try to observe this mind, visit this mind empty essence, luminous nature, and is spacious. And then think about all the positive minds, the compassion, the loving kindness, joy, all these things try to generate. Very, very important. So, Guru Rinpoche here says that Bardo meditation is abandoning the forms of distractions and delusions. Delusions here basically means the mind that is distracted is delusions, as well as clinging mind, not recognizing, realizing empty essence of all nature, so delusions. So what we have to overcome is these distractions, this being lost aspect at all time, to external objects, to internal thoughts. Delusion, in a sense, understanding the nature of phenomena, empty essence. Transcend nature of all this relativity. On a relative level, all these phenomena, what we see, hear, all transcend nature. So we have to overcome these distractions and delusions. The way in which we overcome is then meditations. Now the next line is what we practice. Rest in the infinite state that is free of distractions and graspings. Gaining stability in the two stages of generation and perfection. At this time of single-pointed meditation, having given up activities, I must not fail under the sway of affective emotions and delusions. That's it. Now, what is meditations? Here, the infinite state that is free from distraction and grasping. From very much Dzogchen point of view, the infinite state on our delusional mind, there's subject, there's object. It is me here, it's you there. The divisions, even though division is not that clear at all anyway, but somehow divisions. Then there's a good and bad, even though it's not clear. There's a good, bad, this and that, everything. And that, from that, then what happens? All these gamuts of affective emotions arise. And then ordinary beings surrender to these emotions, and infinite karma is created. So that is samsara. Now infinite states, our true nature, Buddha mind, that which knows no boundaries. His Holiness Dujun Rinpoche said, Tonsal Tawi Tan Trawi Rikpa De, which means empty, no center, no edge. When you look at your mind, something that is to be understood. It is no center, no edge, is infinite state. There is no boundaries. Within this no boundary, even though we use the word within and without. This language itself is designed to communicate something subject, object, matter, dualistic phenomena. This infinite state, this body here is the object. All are delusions, our limited mind's concept. In fact, empty essence of this, empty essence of that, empty essence of this, up, down, no divisions, all in one taste. So true practitioners, the Dzogpa Chenpo practitioners, knows that this empty essence, this nature of mind is infinite. Within this infinite state of mind, whatever appears, good or bad. You remember? One of the favorite examples that Dujum Lingpa gave is that imagine in the ocean all these reflections of moon and stars. Sometimes you see in the full moon, go. Especially in Santa Barbara, it's beautiful. On the piers, you go. Look at the oceans. What a beautiful phenomena there. All reflected. Likewise, to our eyes, these forms, which I perceive as good and bad, doesn't matter, these forms appearing. These sounds appearing in my ears, this taste in my mouth, this sensation in my body. All happens within this boundless state of mind, in the true nature of mind. Like the reflections in the oceans, no other than the ocean itself. So are these forms, sounds, the rest of the phenomena that appears to my mind is somehow no other than my mind. And then there is no distractions. Things appears and things goes. What distraction is there? All these appearing things, Kunchen Longchen, great omniscient master, said, these phenomena, these perceptions, visual forms, sounds, etc., all view as the adornment of Rigpa, which beautify the Rigpa, the infinite state. None of these things actually bring the great practitioner back to ordinary. These thoughts arising constantly, up and down. Thought will arise, but simply beautifying this infinite state of mind. So, no distractions. Grasping and grasping, these two words, distraction and grasping, Tibetan word, yengme and zime. This is such a wonderful word. Yengme means not distracted. The meditator is not distracted. If these phenomena, these perceptions not distract, then what else is there to be distracted, in fact? Grasping, at the same time, this person, this meditator is not meditating on something that is to be meditated on. To this person who abides in the infinite state, to him or her, that infinite state is free from meditator, meditations, and to be meditated, all in one case. Zime, grasping, clinging, non-fixating. There's nothing to be fixated on. There's nothing to be meditated on. So that is the ultimate Dzogchen view, nothing to be meditated on, and yet not distracted. Pristine, clear, luminous, ocean-like things living in their simplicity in Dzogchen terminology is the Dzogchen practice, real Bardo of meditation. So that's one part. And then Guru Rinpoche says, gaining stability in the two stages, generation and perfectionist stage. These two terms that we hear all the time, and I hope you really pay some attention. Generation stage and perfectionist stage. In Ishizoja's prayer, remember, may the two stages of Cherim and Zorim be attained or completed or fulfilled, something like that. So that's what it means. Here, Cherim and Zorim in Tibetan. Now think about Cherim. Cherim is meditation that has to do with visualizations. Visualizing, right? Visualization in the Vajrayana tradition is very, very important part of the practice. Why? Because what do you think who you are? What do you think in front of you who is there? It truly matters to our psyche. At this moment, you think of somebody who's dear to you, who you feel very full of gratitude. It just changes our mind. And God forbid, nobody there. If you have somebody who do not, you want to see, imagine that person, you change your mind, body. We, human beings, this imagination, this visualization profoundly matters. Basically, in the basic sense. Now, in Vajrayana, this morning, and right few minutes ago, we chant 7-9 prayer. In this, we think of Guru Rinpoche in front of us and pray upon him, ask his blessings. That's what I always do. Obviously, that's what Vajrayana practitioners do. Visualize. Every morning you wake up, the first thing in your mind, please try to visualize the Buddha to whom one feels connected to in front. Ask his blessings. At the end of the day, again visualize like Vajrasattva or some other Buddhas. Think of him or her, ask their blessings. Visualizations matters. And then, furthermore, when we practice sadhana, not only sadhana, I hope many of you are practicing Hondo, but we visualize in Guru Yoga, we visualize ourselves as a dakini, so-called self-visualizations. From one point of view, samsara happens because of mistaken identity. That's it. Case closed. Mistaken identity. Here I think I am somebody born in India. Now I spend lots of time in Santa Barbara, identifying myself with this body. Some identity crisis. Here, oneself is visualized as a dakini. Oneself is visualized as Guru Rinpoche. Oneself is visualized as a Vajrakilaya, all the Vajrayana practice that we do, all kinds of things. So basically, visualizing oneself as the divine being, the enlightened being. Very profound. This very place where I am in is the Pure Land. These very friends I have around with as a, in the Vajrayana term, dakas, dakinis, male and female, great beings. That's how we visualize. This very sound we hear as a mantra. So as a Vajrayana practitioners, we say, Hatang chaja jumije, which means, Hat means mantra recitation. Chakja means this visualization, kusung tuji chaja, kui chaja, body mudra, enlightened body, speech mudra, mantra, thought mudra, try to change, remain in the natural state of mind. So as a Vajrayana practitioner, if one do not do a visualization practice, if one do not do mantra recitations, then how we identify ourselves as Vajrayana practitioners? It's simply not there. Basically, these impure perceptions, this body, I am here as, this outside, phenomena, good and bad, my friend and my enemies, my like and dislike, all these impure perceptions must be awakening. In order to do that, generation stage. Cherim, by the way, in Tibetan word, if you have a pen, please write down, Cherim. They translate it as generation stage. So, take this really wonderful opportunity to visualize momentarily, even momentarily, think about yourself as somebody great beings, Tara, for instance, Cherezi. The impact of such practice is very, very profound. So that is how part of the Vajrayana has been practiced and awakened. Practitioners became free of this identity crisis, awakening in the pure perceptions. Right? That is Cherim. Now, Dzogchen, completion is perfectionist stage, or completionist stage, sometimes known as. Completionist stage, we talked about last time in Longchenpa's class, resting in meditation, settled body, and visualizations of settled body and energy and wind. All this practice are known as perfectionist stage practice. And then more in conjunction with the Cherim generation stage, perfectionist stage is simply the recognition of the inherent or empty essence of what you are visualizing. However you may visualize in different forms, different colors, that different form, color can be changed from this to that. That all are in essence empty. As I briefly mentioned, that when one recognizes dream as dream, that means that one recognizes the dream state is empty state. It's just dreaming. When that happens, you can transform, you can emanate. Likewise, since everything is empty, nothing existing whatsoever, this is great liberation. The infinite possibility is there because everything is empty in essence. That realization, empty essence of phenomena, is called Dzogchen. Dzogchen. And in visualization's case, again, when we do dissolution at the end of sadhana, dissolving from this place to the deity, deity to center deity to the seat syllable to empty essence is called Dzogchen stage. But these all different practices are called Dzogchen practice. So, in essence, when one visualizes in a completionist stages of practice, the perfectionist stage is also completed, because whatever you visualize, that visualized phenomena should be recognized or understood or realized empty in essence. That is Dzogchen. So we say the union of Cherim and Dzogchen. Okay? Like that. So what that applies to is that everything, one meditate, one visualize, one try to think empty essence. In fact, in day-to-day lives, even this phenomena can change this to that, appearing this and that. because all empty essence. Good and bad, subject and object, all our perceptions. Okay. At the end, Guru says here, I must not fall under the sway of afflictive emotion and delusions. What is the result of meditations? Bardo Samadhi, doing Bardo Samadhi, Bardo meditation. There is not to fall under the sway of afflictive emotions. We call Gonta Nyumomepa, which means sign of good meditator or good meditation is less emotions. Of course, we as a human being, we have emotions. All kinds of emotions. But as a practitioner, ideally speaking, even though you may have to shout, I hope not, but whatever the case, inwardly, the intensity of our emotion should be less, very less. Not only that, external expression of emotion also, unless it is necessary, given time, place, but then otherwise, what is the result of practice? Buddha Dharma. To be free of cause, suffering and cause of suffering. That is to be free of bad karma and to be free of afflictive emotions. At the end of the day, how one kind of measures the efficacy of our practice has to do with, obviously, we know ourselves. Nobody knows. But I hope we are always try to remain as a spacious. Spacious is like a sky, open mind at all times. In this open mind, when we see things, samsaric phenomena manifest, it's not object. Let us not take this object as something we react to badly, but something to be compassionate. Inwardly, whatever thought arises, emotion thought arises, good or bad, particularly bad times. As a good practitioner, he or she never fell under the sway of afflictive emotions. To be able to do really, genuinely, maybe very difficult. But at the same time, as the one who studied Dharma, as the one who has interest in Dharma, genuine interest in Dharma, as the one who tried to practice Dharma, we have to always keep this in the center of our heart. So something miracle may happen. Or not waiting for the miracle actually may happen. At the end of the day, you may find, yes, even though I appear to be such and such, but still the deep down in my heart, much lighter than 10 years ago, much lighter than a year ago, a month ago, actually better than yesterday, something like that. Let us always aim, motivate for that purpose. Okay, so that is part of meditations. Okay, now let us discuss Bardo of dying. It is now when the Bardo of dying is dawning upon me, I will abandon all grasping, yearning, and attachments. So, okay, what is the Bardo of dying? As we discuss, simply from the moment that one gets this illness to fully exit, end this life. This period is Bardo of dying, right? We call Chika Bardo in Tibetan. So this Bardo is sometimes called painful Bardo of dying. It's painful because as an ordinary, now everything comes to an end. However, the wealth that one accumulated in this life, the possessions, the house, the cars, nothing goes with everything left behind. Even this body is going to be left behind. What else? So as a practitioner, one thing about this reality, and then one tries to reduce our attachments. If one's precious time is only spent for acquiring these possessions, then one is on the wrong track. Yes, we need everything. The cars, the house, the money, everything. At the same time, no, that none of these things will actually go with me. Everything will be left behind. So, is there a reason that one's complete energy, time is spent for these acquirings? Something to think about. So therefore, as the true practitioners, somehow then, okay, these are necessary, yes, spend time there. Ultimately speaking, yeah, most important is pursuing the path of liberations. That's what what we got to do. Now the question is, if nothing goes with, everything is left behind. So the question is, what goes with me? See, what goes? Two things goes with us. The two things are good karma and bad karma. The karma of even say, hi, good morning, my friend, you know. Or the karma of something bad, saying, to all activities, everything that one do with this body, with this speech, nothing goes west. What goes around comes around. At the time of death, what go along with us is the way that whatever the good karma or the bad karma. So that's it. That is to keep always in our mind. Of course, as a Buddhist practitioners, followers also of the Buddha Dharma, we sincerely believe in what goes around comes around. So therefore, every single mantra one recite matters. Every bad word one utter matters. Every single good thought matters. Every single bad thought matters. We say Tamo Yaji Jayang Untuju. Every single gesture of, with the devotion matters. All matters. So therefore, as a followers of the Buddha's teaching, we are 100% committed for the accumulation of good karma and free of bad karma. That defines. Every night, before going to sleep, pray. Pray that, do the purification practice that no karma is remain, bad karma. Good karma is always accumulated. So that is our practice. In a sense, that is it. Whatever bad karma has been there from the beginningless lifetime, purifying, not any more negative karma accumulated here again, ending that continuation of bad karma. That is the practice, in fact. So, live a wonderful life, peaceful mind, peaceful actions, body, speech. This is the way of the practitioners. And what will happen from here on depends on one's own karma. The fundamental teachings of the Buddha, no one created you the suffering, no one created you happiness. You are the creator. That's it. This one always keep in mind. And the rest just follows, in a sense. Okay, and then this painful part of dying is sometimes referring basically to those who are non-believer. See, no life after another, fundamentalist scientists, nihilistic viewpoint, no karma, no next birth. And for these people, approaching to death means complete stop, death end. If this happens, of course, this will be the last time. So painful death. So we, as a practitioner, we away from this kind of nihilistic wrong view, right? Okay. So now the question is, for practitioners, then what is Bardo of dying means here? What is death means here? Here, death simply means just changing this body, that's it. Nothing changes. See, we say that when somebody, for instance, young boy, young girl, young boy, another boy, from same family, different ways of thinking, different ways of behaving, sometimes totally different. Why? Parents did not teach them. They inherit from their previous lives. Obviously, nothing dying. Yeah. We are taking everything. Even though in the part of dying, momentarily come to stop, and again part of becoming all reactivated. So what does death means then? Death means simply changing this body, this physical body, so-called physical body. Past masters, the most example that we use is like a guest and guest house. The guest comes to the guest house, stay there. If guest house no more working, maybe old age, maybe some disease that destroy that place, and then just leaves. Find another body, depending on karma, depending on what he or she deserve next birth. So that is the view. Our true nature, we call unceasing, unborn. The death is not there. Death is referring to this physical body. Oh yeah, that's it. And then now, let us go a little bit deeper. Part of dying. Here, in this teaching, talks about outer dissolution and inner dissolutions. Dissolution in a sense that we simply dissolve this physical, grosser level, go to finer, and then to the very fine, to the most subtle level, to the true nature. That true nature is inherently pure. The Buddha mind the Buddha mind. Step by step, by dissolution, further dissolution means further dissolving this temporarily obscuring our Buddha nature and coming to the very face-to-face, naked, to this ground luminosity we call universal. Ground luminosity simply is Buddha mind, that inherent purity that all sentient beings have. So as a practitioners, some lamas say that, oh, I may not have stabilized my realization in this lifetime, but I'm for sure I will stabilize, attain stability in the part of dying. Because now temporarily obscuring this inherent ground luminosity or the Buddha mind is all peel off. Layers by layers all peel off. And then ground luminosity is shine forth. Like the brilliant sun in this infinite sky. Not an iota of obscurations. So that's the ground luminosities. As a practitioner, yes, does make sense. You are practicing, you are meditating all your life, you are dedicating your life to this practice, revealing in order to recognize your own Buddha nature. Of course, at that time, you may have a greater chance, like that. Now, when we talk about dissolution, we talk about in two ways, outer dissolution and inner dissolutions, right? Outer dissolution, senses and elements. Now for senses, see, sensual object, this visual, everything, that's the most grosser level of mind. This dissolves. This dying person, when enter Bardo of dying, and visually blaring, this sound blaring, not hearing, all these things, a dissolution of the senses. That's rather understandable. And then, important is dissolution of elements. Both are, outer dissolution. Elements. Speaking of elements, we talk about outer elements and inner elements. Outer elements, of course, as we know, earth, water, wind, fire, space. Inner element, this body, this flesh, is earth element. This heat is fire element. This breathing is air element. This liquid is water element, inner element. Now, this dissolves. The so-called physical body is aggregates of elements. This must dissolve. See, from the very beginning, our body, it takes place, the seed from our father and mother. That's how it begins. And through the embryonic development, all these nutrients from others, of course, you are very familiar with this. What mother eats, what mother drinks. Somehow, this body, what is this body basically? Sounds like that. I hear on the news, what you eat is who you are. Obviously, what we throw in the mouth, our body, that circulates. Our body is constantly changing. The most important thing here now to take away is then obviously this is not I. I referring to Buddha from the very beginning said, I that you are grasping on do not exist. This body, my phenomena, my things, in fact, came from outside and dissolved back. And that this, whatever we have, this physical body, from this what you eat, who you are point of view, everything is from outside. This aggregate this old aggregate goes out for some ways, and this new aggregate constantly appearing. Where's me? Where's I am? My body. So this is the fundamental realization in Buddhism. Buddha taught no self. In Dzogchen teaching, where is I? Is your nose I? Is your head I? Is your body I? Obviously not. This nose, this body, this is what I ate. Aggregates of this, what I ate, the nutrients. Very interesting. See, from that viewpoint, let alone the Buddha's teachings, from Dzogchen point of view, from that very regular point of view. So now, in this case, dissolving back, which means before ground luminosity appears. As a dissolution takes place, this inner elements dissolve back to the outer elements, or dissolve into one into this. Sometimes we refer this earth element dissolve into water, water elements, into fire, fire elements, into wind, wind elements, then in the mind space, like that. So in the teaching said that, first let's say, Rinpoche said like that, you will feel that the mountain crashing on you. It is not mountain crashing in you, it is you are losing element, dissolving elements. Said you feel like you are caught by darkness. It's not caught by darkness, you are losing your senses. You will feel like you are dropped from the sky. It's not dropped from the sky. You are simply losing your mind and body. Our mind and body separating. What would we say? Some of you might have read this in the butter essence, that Rinpoche gave instruction to Yeshe Tojo. That. So, anyway, as a practitioner, now the point here, why we talk about dissolution, is so that the practitioner will be aware of that this life is now coming to an end, so that the practitioner be ready. Okay, now dissolution is taking place. I have to be ready. So here the teaching says that one feel outwardly, one feel that one is thrown into the ground deep. So that is the sign of dissolving, this inner earth element, like that. And then settled experience will be like a smoky, senses will come. All this dissolving the earth element. Water element dissolving, one feel like one is thrown into the ocean and mirage is appearing, settled ways. Water elements, inner element, sign of element dissolving. One is feeling thrown into the fire or settled fire like a fly, which has some glowing, mature, simple mature. The some fly which has glow, like that. It's set. And then wind element dissolving into one feel like swept by wind, and also feel settledly one feel that so kind of lamb blowing by wind, like that. So these are the kind of inner experience that one might. Sometimes dissolution may take very fast, may not be all these things, but generally it's like that. As a practitioner, Rinpoche said it's important to know, like that. Okay, there are outer dissolution. Now inner dissolution is rather, I would say, a little bit more information here. Inner dissolution has to do with now settled body. Settled body, see, Longchenpa said, settled body is no other than the physical body. At the same time, not one with the physical body. That's what Longchenpa said. What Jimmy Lingpa also said. Because as long as this grosser body remains, there's settled body. By the way, you remember settled body, channel, wind, bindu, energy, all these things. Long story. Most of you remember this. So dissolving settled bodies, as well as dissolving now final obscuration to our Buddha mind would be the mentally affliction, right? Mental affliction to this stage may not have the grosser level, but settled level mental afflictions. When we talk about mental affliction, all we condense into three mental afflictions. We call three poisons. There's anger, attachment, or desire, or the ignorance. Or desire and the ignorance, okay, three. All this should dissolve because ground luminosity is now going to appear. And then as dissolution takes place, this ground luminosity, when the ground luminosity, our true nature is not obscured by temporary phenomena, its qualities we talk about in terms of clarity, empty, and bliss. Here when we say bliss, we don't understand as should not be understood as bliss as we ecstasy that we imagine, or the clarity that we imagine like light. But anyway, its qualities are these three become more obvious. And then we talk about three wisdoms: wisdom of appearances, wisdom of increase, wisdom of attainment. Basically, wisdom of appearance referring to when this grosser mind dissolve concept-free appearances. That concept-free appearance is wisdom mind now increasing. That increasing wisdom mind now attain the final, completely free from concept. And then now natural, ground luminosity. Little bit, bunch of things are there. But this is how the things takes place. Here's how it is explained. As inner dissolution takes place, we say that when we begin this body, we begin with parents' essence, from father and mother. The father's essence reside in our, crown chakra. Mother's essence below the binat, the navel chakra. Like that. And then when dissolution takes place, that what hold up there, down there, is because of wind, settled body again. And the wind simply dissolves this chakra, this settled body dissolves. Now, this seat that up here and down that we have is now dissolving. So here's how it is explained. When from the crown chakra, that seat from father is descending to the heart level, then the experience we talk about. When it descends, first thing is that all anger related, among three poisons, anger related, 33 concept, anger related will dissolve, coming to an end, dissolutions. At the same time, outwardly one feel whiteness. That in the example we talk about like clear sky lit by moonlight, that kind of whiteness. And inner experience, that's outer experience. Inner experience, one experience the clarity. And on a secret, more profound level, one attain. Now, one is very much, by naturally temporary obscurations are dissolving. So one attain this wisdom of appearance, like that. And then second, from the navel, as the mother's essence ascending toward heart, all 40 concepts related to desire, attachment, dissolve. Outwardly, one experiences red visions, like the clear sky lit by sunlight. And then one feels bliss. At the same time, one attains the wisdom of increase. As these two together meet at heart level, then one dissolve all the 7 related concept related ignorance or dissolve. Outwardly, one feel blackness, nothingness. Inwardly, one feel no thought. Remember, bliss, clarity, no thoughts. Or no thought here simply means no thought. The experience and wisdom of attainment is there. One externally, one feel blackness, darkness, blackness. But that is coming to an end. And these dissolutions takes place now. All that Vajrayana terminology, temporarily obscuring our Buddha inherent mind, like the temporary clouds obscuring the brilliant sun, all removed now, one by one removed. Now what happened to this end is then like a sun from darkness to the dawn, to the sunlight, to the brilliant sun appears in the sky, in this infinite sky, the brilliant sun, without any clouds, we call Chensundan Tower, without any obscuration basically. No cloud, no mist, no fog. The ground luminosity is absolutely present to you. That is the final dissolutions, the end of Bardo dying. Obviously, for practitioners, this is not only painful part of dying, this is the opportunity, great opportunity. In the aspiration prayer, Mapang Punjuktabu Toashu, which means, may I attain, like a son, beloved son, walking in the lap of loving mother. That which means that practitioner have been practicing this all his life, all her life. Now to this end, come to an direct, face-to-face this opportunity. And of course, this practitioner readily, willingly, joyfully recognize this ground luminosity. At that moment, this practitioner attained Dhammakaya state. In that state, remaining however long it may remain, she may remain, as we call Tugdam, meditation after death. Or from a couple of hours to one day to a couple of weeks, couple of months. Within the ground luminosity, like a beloved child walking in the lap of loving mother, just recognize as it is. So far, this ground luminosity has been obscuring with so many perceptions, so many things. Like a foggy day, like today here, Santa Barbara. We definitely no sun is there. Practitioners like that. We know that the sun is there, brilliant sun is there, shining forth with its warmth. But we are not seeing it because it's obscuring. Likewise, this Buddha mind, even though we try to abide in it, somehow this data, information that we collect from our sensory we tend to be thrown back and forth. And all these emotions, let alone. Enough, lots of people out there who shakes comfort zones. So all this come to an end. So this is the moment that one attends the Dhammakaya mind. So knowing this, the practitioner is quite excited, in fact, quite ready for this moment. So that is how Bardo dying takes place. And great practitioners awakening in this state for the benefit of all sentient beings. So, okay, that's it for today. And tomorrow I will discuss something that we think important for taking care of the dying person who are taking this transition, and some methods for taking care of this dying person that will continue tomorrow. Okay. Any questions?
You can put your questions in the chat. Ani Chunyad has raised her hand. So go ahead, Anila, if you'd like to unmute and ask your question.
Thank you, Tulku. My question is about the Bardo of dying. If a person has a disease that lasts for years, does the Bardo of dying start at the moment the cancer, for example, starts, or the moment where it's the beginning of the actual dying?
Beginning of actual dying, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Not all the duration of having this person being, having this disease. When the transition start to emerge, and then, start from there. Okay, Ane Chunila.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm happy to see you and be here with you.
Thank you. How's fire up there?
Oh, the fire.
All
well,
right.
I could talk for a while about the fire. I was surrounded by fire, not really closely, but
I can see some kind of things behind you. Is that smoke?
oh, that's no.
Huh?
No, it's Northern Lights. It's a background.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, Northern Lights, not smoke.
Northern light.
Yeah.
Is this only happening up there, Oregon, or is this happening?
Northern Lights.
Yeah, Northern light.
I heard a week or so ago that some people here in Southern Oregon saw some, but Normally it's farther north.
Oh. Definitely some aliens show up.
Aliens? What?
Some aliens may show up, I'm saying.
I haven't seen any that I know of.
No, just kidding. How beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. What we see. Okay.
We have some more questions. Are you ready for more questions?
Yes.
Okay. Ricky Lee asked, she said, I have a hard time visualizing Guru Rinpoche. Does that mean I'm not ready for it? No, you are ready. The practice that I described doesn't mean that, you know, that even myself be able to practice. I'm trying. Definitely, I believe myself, you know, a little bit more experience than compared to some other people. But I'm still working on it. So doesn't mean that you not be able to visualize clearly, not ready. You can just feel the presence. You can just think of, when you close your eyes, you can think your you know, beloved ones. You can think like that. You just think. At the beginning, you just think. When we do the 7-line prayer, you just think Guru Rinpoche. Feel his presence. I think that he is there. Even though one do not see with his naked eyes, he is there. He's there the moment I invoke with this prayer. Is there. Guru Rinpoche, who has infinite wisdom, the moment that one turn one's attention toward, he's right there. So that doesn't mean we can see him, but he's there. So with that devotion and trust, we simply pray. And then don't think about, oh, I cannot visualize as he described, or I read in the text, it says you visualize that and this. No, I cannot do that. This did not happen. All these concepts, not necessary. Do your best. Do your best. And then keep your motivation to be doing even more, better like that. So, okay, thank you for asking that question.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I see you here? Oh, okay. Okay.
Long time no see, Rinpoche.
Yeah. Where are you?
Long time no see. I'm in a car. Unfortunately, it's a work day for me, but somehow my wife is covering my work right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm fortunate enough to attend.
Oh, okay. Be careful driving.
Yes, I'm not driving. I'm parking, so I'm okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Another question we have in the earlier session is, do we really have free will in the Bardo of life? And there's also a question about the Buddhist view of organ donation. So two questions from Amelia here. Do we really have free will in the Bardo of this life?
Yeah. Free will. Buddhist view of karma is that yes, everything is a result from the past, that's why we take everything into account. But future, for instance, if one have a karma to something to happen, and that karma can be changed. Their karma change. Future karma is totally in our hand, and we can change the future karma for good or for bad. Even though our past karma is, the fundamental cause that, that karma can. That's what we do. What we do in our Vajrasattva practice, we purify completely all karmas, and future karma were in our hands. So if this is what we call free will, yes, definitely we have the free will. Okay.
Organ donation, Buddhist view of organ donation, if that's something you would like to address, since
Okay.
we are all supposed to make that decision when we get our driver's license, is whether or not we're an organ donor.
So there is a rather difficult answer to question that I may not have clear answer to you. Dissolution taking place. Let's talk about outer dissolutions. This when inner air dissolve into space, into outer air, then sometime 3 out breath, sometime some in Tantra, some instruction says 5 times out breath. When this last breathing out, we talk about a glimpse of 5 Buddhas appearing and glimpse of 5 wisdoms. But however the case, some that I witness, so 3 to more, exhaling. So last exhaling, not inhaling, end of the life. So life, in a sense, exhale and no inhale, come to an end. So in this case, outer dissolution, when we talk about, dissolution ends, outer dissolution ends. And not anymore breathing, maybe medically you pronounce dead. At the same time, the inner dissolutions are yet to take place. It can be very fast. It can be still take some time. So therefore, traditionally, we don't touch the body for a while. In this case, I'm not sure what the answer may be. Obviously, organ donors, wonderful thing that you are doing for, others, saving others' life. It's wonderful, virtuous thoughts. But in this case, if inner dissolution is taking, happen to be quick, then sounds perfectly fine. But if it's taking longer time, so then again, there will be disruptions. So basically, I don't really have clear answer to your questions. Okay.
We still have a few questions from the last session. If
Okay, one more and then we go.
okay. I find it hard to remember everything that happened during the day when I do the Vajrasattva meditation. Can you recommend to help me remember? This is from Anita.
Oh, Anita. I don't remember myself what I do, really. Sometimes may be important to remember, sometimes not important. It's okay not to remember. So in Vajrasattva practice, if there is something that one remember, and then you think about that in Vajrasattva practice, we say, if there's something that you don't remember, don't worry. You know, if there's something you remember that you feel like you should not have done, then think about that and purify that karma. If there's something that wonderful you did, most of the time, you rejoice in that merit. Rejoice in that merit. Rejoice. So that remembering serve you for rejoicing in your own merit is multiplying merit. We say that rejoicing is something you are taking a big advantage. You're not doing, but you are just simply rejoicing in others' merit. Some great people really so much rejoice. They rejoice in other great works. You think about this in the world, how many people are doing great things. Rejoice in that. Rejoice. One of the most common practice in Buddhism, that some people find a little bit more, so many things going on when we do prayer, it's called 7-branch prayer. We rejoice. We rejoice in ordinary people's good merit. We rejoice in the Sangha people's good merit. We rejoice in the Bodhisattva's great merit. We rejoice, admire, in Buddha's infinite qualities. This is something that one accumulate merit, which is very easy, like that. Okay.